Welcome everyone. In this video, we'll have a quick overview of all the system APIs. Click on this icon and you will see the list of all system APIs. You can hit these APIs from front-end or mobile application, or you can directly use these APIs inside the code of custom API schedulers events like that. Let's start with Encrypt Data API. As name suggests, it will take some data and it will encrypt them and return the encrypted string in output. So we need to pass our data in a data property. Let's say we say hello world and we'll get this data. Now let's go to Decrypt Data API, which will take the data and decrypt them. So which will take encrypted string and decrypt that and we'll get our original object back. Now let's have a look on hash data. It will take data and generate a hash of that data. So no matter how many times we send it for same data, it will return same hash value. We change the value and our hash will be changed. This encryption algorithm and hashing algorithm will come from the secrets. Let's open the secret management. Hashing API will use these two fields, hashing algorithm and nonce. After that, encryption API will use these three fields, encryption algorithm for front-end transfer and its secret. We will not cover this get token and call external APIs in this section. You can use this get secret key or keys API to get values from secret. You need to pass secret ID in header for that, or it will pick up from default secret. In most cases, you should not give access to this API to API users, but it depends on your business requirement also. You can keep separate secret for frontends also. Let's go to secret management and see we have created separate secret for frontend and here we have FE secrets and email provider. Now let's go to our system API. Get secret keys or keys. We'll test it. We'll go to body. We'll generate a single. Here we can provide the path. First we'll send it. Right now it is getting data from default secret, which we can pass here. We can also provide FE secrets. We'll send that. Here also we have this value present. Here FE secrets dot email provider and we'll get the value. This value is coming from this FE secrets, inside that this object and this value. FE secrets, inside that this object and this value. If you just pass FE secrets, it will return you entire object, and you can also pass multiple values in keys in a body payload, so it can return multiple values of secrets. Get Redis keys, set Redis keys and remove Redis keys are the simple APIs to manage your keys inside the Redis. For example, let's set with this API. We'll generate the payload. In key, we can provide key name. Let's say value 1, and we don't want TTL, and we can provide multiple values like this. Now value should be string always. Now let's get those keys. Here we can pass key 1. We'll got the value 1. Here we can provide array also and we'll get the multiple values in return. We can also use this API remove Redis keys to remove the keys. Key 1, key 2, and it will just simply return true. We saw these 4 APIs in action in automatic caching video. but in one line I would say they are useful to reset the cache. For example, this reset database cache is useful to reset cache of specific instance database and collection or table. This API is used to reset cache of third-party APIs. This API is useful to reset the cache of custom APIs, and this API is used to reset the cache of system APIs. This getTable metadata API is very useful to write migration scripts and very useful to know about the state of that particular table. For example, let's go to body and we write instance as a MySQL 8. This is our database name and our table name. When we press the send button, we'll see it will return schema structure of that table. For example, here we have an ID column with the type number, order ID with type number, transaction date with type number. Here let's say payment method and maximum is 255 characters allowed. So in migration scripts you can hit this API and see the structure of the table and take decisions based on that. For example, if there is a payment method is already there in the table, we will not execute the alter statement and we will not perform that particular section of the migration script. Here in API Maker you will write migration scripts in pure JavaScript and you can write if-else conditions based on these API results. And you can also design the scripts in a way that even if you execute multiple times, it will not break and it will keep your database in a specific state. We saw the system API emit event in action in events video. In one line, I would say you can emit any event with specific listeners via API call also. This emit event WebSocket API is useful to emit the WebSocket events and to notify the users who are listening on that WebSocket events via API call. These last three are validation related APIs and they will validate your data against database table or with custom API or with a third API. For example, this is valid data for table will hit that payload and it will validate this payload with this instance MySQL 8, this database inventory and with this table. We'll send that and we are not getting any errors in return. That means this data is valid and we try to save it. It will be saved in the database. But let's say we do some changes and we don't have this quantity 111 field in database table. When we try to send it, it will show us error that it is not able to find that field. The same way, other two APIs will validate your data with custom API schema and this will validate with the third-party API schema. This is useful in some cases. Before proceeding with execution of code, you can validate all the user inputs and if there is error, you can throw back that error to users.